Sports today. Gentlemen, are the Seattle Seahawks the new Dallas Cowboys? Have we been watching what is happening with the free agency? Because
Watch it, buddy.
well, I'm giving the Cowboys some flowers now because they're actually doing some appropriate moves and making some things that's like, yeah, it makes sense. But what the heck is going on? So I'm a Seahawks fan. Born in the Seattle area, my family is.
I forgive you.
Yeah, exactly. For the longest time, I'd be like, I'm proud of it, but they're just getting rid of all of their core pieces, and I just don't know. And they picked up Sam Darnold on such a big contract.
Well, I'll just say,
Oh God!
look, for the sake of your own mental health, I really hope that the Seahawks aren't the new Cowboys, because you're in for some tough years.
But I do have to preface it that I am very excited that the San Francisco 49ers are also doing the same thing, where they're just rebuilding and revamping their team because they have gotten rid of so many key pieces. So it'll definitely be Seattle and San Francisco battling for last place in that division next year, as I'm seeing it.
Well, and NFC West has been kind of a dominant division. I'm seeing
lot
that
of
right
years.
now in the NFC East.
I'm sorry.
They're tanking, right? Yeah. But the moves that the Commanders have been doing, the Eagles, the NFC East is a really strong division right now.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting to see how this progresses.
I'm only paying attention to Formula One now. So first race is gonna be
This Sunday.
soon. Yes, this Sunday. Well, Saturday to Sunday. Yeah,
Let's
over
talk
here.
about it. What's where
Our
is
local
it?
time is Australia.
Yeah. So
Melbourne.
we have Conrad there, Dylan there, Hilton George, and have Scott as a guest today. Yeah.
Howdy,
Not
howdy.
sure. Scott, you into Formula One at all? You familiar with the teams?
No.
That's
Except
okay.
that I am blown away at how
My-
I'm blown away at how 23-year-olds are driving those cars, and I am under the impression they're doing that because they don't have a history of fear, and so they can be fearless as they're pushing that car around the track.
A lot of these guys start
4
in a
years.
Yeah,
4
in
years
a
old.
competitive matter, they start karting 4 or 5 years old, and
Yeah.
they build it all the way up. And it is so. Being an American is not a super prevalent sport on television. I got into Formula One through Hilton and my Brazilian friends. But there's an amazing series on Netflix called Drive to Survive, where it's a documentary series behind the scenes. And if you start from season 1 and on, like, you just start getting really invested in the drivers and all the stuff they go through week to week to week and the storylines. And it just really got me interested. And
And
so
how competitive it is. Yeah.
last year was the first year where I really watched every race for a full season, and I'm hooked. It's just really fun to stay into the points and figure out, like, people are on the same team, but they're competing against each other. They're not. I mean, there is group points in the Constructors' Championship, but it'd be like, Tom Brady and Gronk, they're competing against each other for a championship, even though they're on the same team. So I think that aspect of it really piqued my interest. It's just so different from team sports that I'm used to watching, and I'm hooked.
The thing with a teamwork in F1 is that you are more likely to make friendships with somebody from a different team that you're really direct competing for, let's say, first, second, or third, or whatever position it is, than your own teammate, because your own teammate that the team within the team, right? So your teammate, they have access to all your data, so they can look at that and say, hey, I'm not lapping at the same time. I'm tenth of a second is lower. So they look at the data and then they say, okay, so as a driver, what can I do to actually improve based on my teammates' data? And then, of course, for the whole team, not the team within the team, but for the whole Scuderia, they will score more points if both of them, finishing first and second, or second and thirds, or whatever. So they do that shared information. The drivers do not like that. So it's easier for, let's say Dylan and I are the same team. It's easier for me to be friends with George or Conrad from a different team than Dylan and I, just because of that. Because
Very
he has
interesting.
access. Yes, he has access to my data. I have access to his data. And no, I want to beat you first than anything else.
Because it's your most direct comparison. We're driving the exact same car, and other cars aren't the same. So if I'm slower than you, that means you're a better driver than me. And it's so counterintuitive to my understanding of team sports that when I started watching, I'm like, wow, there's something different about this that I've been hooked on it. And we were fortunate enough, we did a flooring job for a brewery in downtown Pflugerville.
Yeah.
And he's kind of a racing enthusiast, and he invites us to go watch the races there. And sometimes they'll be at 8 a.m. and the brewery's not even open, but he opens it up, and we all go in there and we watch it. And I think that's kind of created this kind of camaraderie with people, and just a real fun time.
Who's coming this time? Is 11 p.m. It's gonna start.
So he's actually doing it on Sunday. They're gonna do a replay at like 2 or 3 o'clock or something. So,
Yeah, but he's also doing a late, Saturday,
doing one too?
11 p.m. Yes.
I think I'm gonna miss this one. I'm gonna get to the more. I can do an 8 a.m. I can do the 10, 11, but 11 o'clock at night.
I'm an old man. I'm in bed by that time for the past couple hours.
I'll be a zombie there, but I might be there. I don't know.
It's my time with my lady. We'll
Yeah.
figure out some stuff to do.
We got a lot of friends from the South by Southwest, so definitely we're gonna be out. It's gonna be the last day, probably. Friends they are at our place, so probably gonna be out downtown enjoying the last day of my friends here.
Well, maybe I'll have to bring some people on my back porch and turn on the TV and
Yeah, it would be cool.
There you go.
Smoking a cigar.
Yeah.
How about that? Huh?
Are there any favorite drivers to win this year? Who's supposed to win the Construction Cup?
Well, I want Hamilton to win every single year, so I'm a Hamilton guy.
Oh, okay.
I think there's a lot of talk that you can only get so much information from preseason testing, but there's really like 4 teams that we will know a lot more after this first race. But it's Mercedes, Ferrari, McLaren, and Red Bull all have a car that looks quick. And in the pre-testing, the person, which doesn't matter because it's not the race, but who was doing the quickest laps over and over and over was Carlos Sainz in a Williams.
Carlos Sainz is doing really well, and Piastri, I think, is gonna take over the highest score on McLaren.
Over Lando.
Yeah, I think so.
So
Bold predictions.
we've been dealing with a lot of Verstappen dominance, and this season, it's great if he wins at the end, but if we see some competition all the way through, I think it's going to really make it interesting on a week-to-week basis.
Yeah.
So, any other interesting sports stuff going on?
MotoGP is coming to Circuits of the Americas, which I will be attending the 28th, 28th, 29th, and 30th of this month. So I'm really I like MotoGP. I know, Scott, you have a motorcycle too as well.
yeah.
So
I don't race it much on the street.
My racing days are over, but I used to have a crotch rocket, and I loved that thing, throwing around corners. But
Dirt bikes.
and dirt bike, yeah, I sold my dirt bike. I got rid of that thing. Shout out to the guy who bought it. He loves it, so I'm happy for him. But yeah, MotoGP is at the end of this month. It's going to be here in Austin, Texas, at Circuits of the Americas. So that's something to be really mindful and watchful of. Tickets are really cheap. If you guys wanna go, just let me know, and we can all make a trip out of it.
All right.
From the basketball perspective, we have the March Madness, right? So, which is always great, especially to me. This is related, like
You're
she's
making brackets?
yeah, and she studies at UT, so we kind of get information all the time from there. And from the NBA, we're approaching to the playoffs, right? So right now, I think the hot topic is who is going to be the MVP because Shea is playing out of this world for Oklahoma, but you can't take this title from Jokic. Jokic just did the impossible. 31 points, 21 rebounds, and 22 assists. The first time in history. We are talking about not even Will Chamberlain did it. So I think he deserves, again, he was the MVP 3 times. He was stolen one MVP from Embiid last year, like 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah, and probably they are going to, because of the MVP fatigue, they're going to give it to Shai, but he's the best player in the world. Jokic is the best player in the world. You know, like, if you don't count a guy who does the night-night, still my favorite player, man. Stephen Curry is, I think people should, one thing is like how much a player brings to the game, the MVP, which is the most valuable player, which is Jokic. See, there is no discussion there. But man, what Curry has been doing in the Olympic Games, you know, like right now, the last 14 games, they won 12. They only lost 2 games because of Butler. Is the perfect match. And if you ask me for the past 10 games, Curry needs to be in the conversation to be the MVP, you know? So I just love this guy. I wish more people would give the flowers he deserves, because he's a top 10. I know it's bold, but someone is going to need to leave the top 10 because Curry's there. Yeah, that's it.
Baseball. Spring training is currently undergoing or is happening right now in Arizona and Florida. Little League baseball, especially around here, is happening. It's a big thing right now. And the Round Rock Express, their home opener is going to be April 1st. So if anybody want to catch it, or the weekend of the first week of April, if anybody wants to catch a Round Rock Express game, let me know. I can definitely. I want to go. I'm going to start.
I
going
like
tomorrow.
Round Rock Express. I like going out to the games.
Never been.
I do too. Oh, it's a fun
wanna go.
experience.
Oh, we should
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
I went to watch it once, and I got a shirt out of it. They
From the cannon?
yes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
Lucky
awesome.
bastard.
he is pretty lucky in that regard. You win stuff from raffles
Yeah.
and T-shirts and stuff.
I get from my mom, I guess. She always, like, in bingos and stuff, she always, come out with things. And it's like, wow. I remember when I was like 8 years old, and it was like a church thing that they had like a raffle thing. And then we came home eating a massive leg of a turkey or something. For me, it was big because it may not even been a turkey, maybe been like a bigger bird because I was tiny, of course.
Ostrich.
Maybe.
Pterodactyl.
Yeah.
But it was huge. I was like, I remember eating those because my mom got that on the raffle thing on bingo. I don't remember exactly what it was, but because I was only 8. But yeah, my mom used to win things like that, and I think I got that as well.
I've never had that lucky charm in raffles and things, so I don't buy into raffles anymore. I'm just giving money away.
Cool.
But all right, well, maybe that's it for sports, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
That's
wrap
the
up.
highlight of sports. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Thank you.